Nothing improper about it at all. The only problem with the purchase of the bins and the cups and the dishes was that the procurement committee, yes, it is their fault. They did not insist that them follow them rules. I sent you something and I said, listen, I want you to do this. Give me a quotation on the price of 40 bins and give me a quotation on some cups and dishes. But when you're sending me the quotation, this is what you do. That's the instruction that you were given and they never followed it. And the procurement committee did not pay attention to it, right? Approved it. It went to the CEO. Him never see it either. And approve it. And then when it comes time for the duty-free status now, they don't even know if they now pay feet already. In which case, as a matter of fact, if it turns out that the two companies had included the customs duty and the GCT in the price that they quoted the UHWI, they are entitled to pay back the UHWI the money. And the acting CEO should consult with attorneys and put on him foot, right? Once him discover whether or not the $11 million actually included the customs duty and GCT or not. Yes. Let me make another point before I move on to who owns these companies. They have been referring to the matter of the misuse of the UHWI's duty-free status. That can only be said to be true for the two companies where the status was used and the items never went to the university hospital. And that will be the items that were purchased by private company number 1 and private company number 2. Number 2 we know is Jack, then we don't know for sure who is company number 1. It could be the Supreme Laundry Services, but we don't know. You understand? Right. So in those circumstances where the duty-free status was used for items that did not and was never intended for UHWI, that, of course, is a misuse and problem in that. But having looked at the matter in terms of the reason why the UHWI, in some circumstances, would use the duty-free status to buy items for themselves, I don't think it is reasonable to say that when they use the duty-free status to import the waste bins and the cups and dishes that it was an abuse. I don't think it was. In the case of the bins, they would have saved themselves $3 million, and in the case of the cups and dishes, over $600,000. And that was the intent. And only when the CEO, the former CEO, Mr. Fitzgerald Mitchell, is brought before the committee that we will hear the other side of the story. Or if we're lucky, Mr. Hosen, the acting CEO, may do some research and find out some additional information and bring it to the Parliament so that we can hear what is going on. Let's hope.
Taxes. You see, guys, it's important that we listen to this, because I want to understand this whole matter going forward. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So the first question I want to ask on this particular issue as it relates to the misuse of the tax-exempt status, the Auditor General, in her findings, said companies. Can you, because I think it is in your purview to name, and she mentioned private company 1, private company 2, private company 3, private company 4. Can you tell the committee, and that's my first question, what are the names of private company 1, private company 2, private company 3, private company 4?
I know that the Auditor General redacted the names.
I'm not directing the question to the Auditor General. I'm directing the question to you.
I'm answering.
Yes.
I'm answering, member. And we know that the matter is under investigation.
The matter is under investigation for one company, and I'm going to get to that. So
it's under investigation for all, but only one. One case, and I can.
I just want to hear the names of the companies.
I can give you the name of the one that they complete. The work has been completed by customs, and they have actually given us the report with the one name.
No, I don't think that is acceptable, because I don't know. Did you issue the name? Because the name came out there before the customs report, as far as I know. So I'm asking the university hospital, through you as the CEO, to provide the names. This has nothing to do with the investigation.
Do you know the names?
Do you know the names of the 4 companies?
I will seek guidance on releasing all the names, member, but I can share the name of the one that we have gotten the report of.
I'm not asking you for the name of the one, but because why is there secrecy around naming all the 4? And how come the country heard of this one long before customs and things would have gotten the information from the university hospital? So I'm just asking you here, what are the names? This is my first question.
Do you know the names? Do you know the names? Obviously, this new CEO don't know the rules of the parliament. When the parliamentarian asks you a question, you answer the damn question. What were the names of the 4 companies? That's what you were asked. That is a parliament. Parliament, as far as I understand, it is the highest court in Jamaica. So when them ask you a question, you answer it. The privileges of the parliament is similar to in the court. Nobody can sue you, right? So just as when you're in a courthouse, you are asked a question and the judge instructs you to give a response. You can't say you not answer it. You can say you don't know, but you can't say you not answer it, right? Otherwise, you're going to be cited for contempt. In the parliamentary committees, they do have the same rules, as you can see here. The parliamentary committee chair can initiate proceedings to cite a civil servant for contempt if they refuse to answer questions, but they generally cannot impose a punishment directly. That has to be referred to the full house by the chairman of the committee, and they will deal with the matter from there. So the acting CEO could not have refused to answer the question without good reason. Otherwise, he could find himself in a problem. Anyway, I think somebody whispered to him and tell him to answer the question, and so he did, eventually.
Can you repeat that?
Come on, guys. Step up the screen. If you're not following Chuck, please press the follow button.
Is the name of the 4 companies that been.
If you're not following Chuck, please to press the follow button. Give us a follow. Give us some taps on the screen. And Chuck is still looking forward to the lion for talking politics. Anytime when ready.
Benefited from the tax exempt status.
I know that the Integrity Commission has the file. The names, as would have been known, seen by the Auditor General, were seen by us also. But in terms of the completion of the investigation, one has
so
been
are the investigations around the named company, which that name was in the public space for months? Were those?
We didn't release any names, you know. We have not released any names even to this point.
But you're saying you know of one, and you can name one for investigations.
Based on the report from the customs which I have here, I can state what customs have stated as being the one company. The name of the companies are Supreme Laundry Services, Willman's Sales.
What's that?
Willman's Sales. Willman, WILLMAN, Sales, SALES. Scientific Medical Services. And Jack Den Limited.
So, having dragged the information out of him, like a dentist trying to drag out a rotten tooth that is very stubborn and don't want to come out of the mouth, he eventually gave the names of the 4 companies, but here's what he did not do. He did not give them in the sequence in which the Auditor General had presented them in her report, and by so doing, obscure which of these companies, the 3 that he named, right, is company number 1, number 3, and which company is private company number 4. How we know that? Because he named Jack Den Limited last, and we know that Jack Den Limited was private company number 2. So he has confused it. Now, Chris Brown, I do recall, asked the question of him, which one of these companies would be private company number 1? We already know that Jack Den was private company number 2. But which of the other 2 companies would be private company number 3? And which one was private company number 4? We don't know. I can tell you that when I did my research, I went on the company's office website to find out who the owners of these companies are.
It was different than anything I'd experienced before. And it was.
And I found the owners for Supreme Laundry Services because they are registered on the company's website. When you want to know who is the director and the shareholder of a company, it is best to go to Form 19A. It is also on the company's website. And so I decided to look up what the latest return, because a company is required to submit to the company's office every year a return, right? And this is where they're going to tell the company's office the name of the directors, shareholders, how many shares they own, if there's a change, and so on. Anything that happened during the year that changes from the year before, or change from the year before, they are supposed to declare that in Form 19A. And this form that I'm looking at was the one submitted in 2025 for the year 2024, which is when the incident took place. So that's when we want to know who owned the company at that time. And the owners of a company are the shareholders, and who were the directors. So as it said on the company's website, Michael Hill of a Kingston 6 address, he was a sole shareholder of 2,000 ordinary shares in Supreme Laundry Services Limited. So we now know who the owner is. Question is now, who are the directors? Michael Hill, he was one of the directors. Josephine Chambers Lynch and Chantal Hill. Chantal Hill lives in Brooklyn, New York. Don't know if she still does. And then there is Josephine, who is registered here as the operations manager. I'm not sure if she's the operations manager for the Supreme Laundry Services, but that's her profession. Now, somebody was asking, Chris Brown, I think, was asking, and others, why is it that we are focused on Jack Den and not these other companies? Well, as it happens, Jack Den is owned by a politician. So he is going to, how should I put it? He is going to incite more interest of the public than some obscure persons that we don't know. So even though Mr. Hill and his company benefited, let the law deal with that. We are interested in what our politicians do. So if an incident occurs, like for example, something like a death, somebody kills somebody, and if some other person do it, it's of interest to us. If it is a big name person that did it, it is of more interest to us. When it's a politician that did it, it is of supreme interest to us. So this is the reason why we create a lot of excitement about Jack Den, and we're not paying these other companies any mind, because the companies are owned by people that we don't know. We don't know who they're connected to. We don't know who they are. Never heard of them. So they excite no interest from the rest of us. Understand now?
Just press the follow button, give us a follow, give us a link.
Yes. Well, let's just look all the same at the other two companies and see what we find. We're looking now at Form 19A of the company Willman Sales. And we see here that there is a director, Sean Manley. He is a sole director. He's not only the sole director, he's also the sole shareholder, holding 20,000 ordinary shares. So it is Sean Manley who owns Willman Sales. And at the time when the transaction went down with the UHWI using the duty-free status, he was also the owner, right? Yes. So the critics may ask, why are we not paying attention to Willman Sales? Well, who is Sean Manley? Yes, he has a Manley name, but who is he? We don't know him. He's not a politician. He's not sitting in our parliament making laws for us. Although, in fairness to Dennis Gordon, he was not in the parliament at the time when the transaction took place with his company and UHWI using the duty-free status of UA to bring in the dialysis machines.
He was in the KSAC.
Duty-free, in all fairness, but he's in our house and therefore we are interested.
But at the time, Michelle, he was in the KSAC, and at the time, he was a candidate for the lower house.
Now, this is where it gets murky. I don't know if the acting CEO was fevered. He didn't want to say the names of these 4 companies. He was, finding all kind of reasons why he probably shouldn't be saying it because investigation going on. And I don't know if that was what happened to him or he was misled because he did read from the cell phone the names of the companies. He was the one that gave the name Jack Den Limited. And he was the one that gave the name
The Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club.
You see, it is important that we understand. So whenever we hear Comrade asking about the other 2 companies, as Michelle Stone would have put it, their breaches are not actually breaches. Their breach, if they have a breach, is different from what we think it is.
Scientific Medical Services. I am here to tell you, Jamaica, and my subscribers, that I could not find any company called Scientific Medical Services on the company's office website.
Mm-hmm.
I also could not find any company called Jack Den Limited. And let me tell you why it is important. A company is described as a legal entity. It is almost like a person, except it is not a person. A company, unlike a person, has a unique name. That is why they allow us to do company searches. So if we want to set up a company, we must have access to all of the previous companies that exist to go and check to make sure the name that we propose to give our company now match the name of a company that already exists now or can be confused with an existing company. So the UHWI needs to come and tell us which one of the Jack Den companies were involved in this business, because there were 7 of them that I found. I found 7 of them on the website, right? And none of them is called Jack Den Limited. None. So the information that he gave to the committee was not correct. And the committee, as I said, is like a court. You're not supposed to read anything into the record that is not true. So the University Hospital of the West Indies need to come and clarify which one of the Jack Den entities were involved in the UHWI scandal. Secondly, the company name that they gave, Scientific Medical Services, appears not to exist at all. Whenever I put in Scientific Medical Services on the online, in Google for a search, it comes up as a different company. It keeps defaulting to this company. And so I had to wonder to myself, I wonder if this company had a name change, because if the company had a name change, then the Google system would be associating the old name with a new name. But when I went to check, there was no association. And this is why I said that Cliff Hughes, the names that he had given, he may not have realized, assuming that this is the company whose owners he was reading out, because he mentioned the name Lau, L-A-U. And as you can see, the directors of the company are Peter Liu, Howard Law, Elsie Law, and the shareholders are Noel Lyon and Howard Law. So this appears to have been the company that Cliff Hughes was reading information from, which is, as I said, every time I put in the information, Scientific Medical Services, it defaults to this company. Now, it's possible it's the same company, but, we need a little clarity. That's all we're asking for, and hopefully we get it soon. Now, when it comes to the issue of whether or not the possibility was that Scientific Medical Services has a name change, I looked at the Scientific and Medical Supplies Limited. I looked at the certificate of incorporation. This is what it is. And as you can see, in 1989, when it was registered, it was called Scientific and Medical Supplies Limited. And that is what it is being called today. So if Scientific and Medical Supplies Limited is the company that's involved in this scandal, then we need the UHWI acting CEO to come out and tell us. So we need some clarity. Mr. Hossein, we need some clarity on the matter. The records of the Parliament must be accurate. Well, folks, that's it for me today. I hope that this video provided you with some information that you may not have known before. I hope that the question that was asked in the PAC about the UHWI, why is it that they were not doing their own imports? I hope that my research was able to provide the answer.
You did, Miss Swale, you answered that question for us superbly. Now, chat then. And again, the PMP has called a press conference for tomorrow. And I hope there will be persons normally in the chat. And I hope questions must be posed in that. We want us to go over there. No. I don't want to send over there go make it look like them have no whole heap of supporting us. No. Let us hope that reporters will turn up to that press conference tomorrow and they will ask questions. That's all we want. We need questions. We don't want a party that is embroiled in yet another scandal to call another press conference and not one reporter have the balls to ask them about the ongoing scandal. During the Kingston and St. Andrew municipality scandal, when they were said to have given out local government money to fund all sorts of things, or keep in a brown paper bag, they called press conference after press conference, and not one single reporter had the nerve to ask any question about what was happening there. When it was revealed that the Spanish Town St. Catherine Municipal Corporation was giving out $2.2 million to Dans, $1 million to each Dan in Spanish Town to keep the peace. They have press conference after press conference, and not one single reporter had the nerve to pose this question about what is happening at the Spanish Town. The PMP at a press conference has never been asked about the Westmoreland Parish Council. They have never been asked about Mandeville Parish Council. They have never been asked about any of these level of corruption that they are involved in while sitting on the opposition bench, people. This party, and this is a first in the history of this country. User, I would love for you to come and tell me what misinformation I'm giving out, please. I see if the user listen to me now. I've maintained this, My platform is open if you want to come and challenge me on anything you hear me say. I do not give out misinformation, sir. If you have heard me say something that you have questions about, step up to the plate and challenge me. But you can't just type, say, I give out misinformation, and you don't have the balls to step up and tell me the misinformation you think I'm giving out. $2 million a month was given out to Dans by the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. Every single local government authority being run by the PMP is embroiled in some scandal right now. And I say, this is unprecedented in this country, where the opposition party is involved in more scandal than the government. It has never happened like this in our country before. Normally, when you hear about taxpayers' money, a the party in a government embroiled in a scandal about taxpayers' money. This is unprecedented, where the opposition party is involved in more governmental scandal than the government. Where the opposition party is involved in more taxpayer money scandal than the government. But that's where we are today. That's where we are today. And that this government bring the proof. Proof of what you want, Mr. Freighter. Welcome back. You were here earlier. Mr. Freighter, you are allowed to press the request button and come and join me for a conversation. You were here earlier today and now you are back. I thank you for the support. I thank you for the support. I like, but you are allowed to press the button and come join me. Let us converse. That's why we have to do everything, Mama Joy, to get them out. We have to do everything to get them out. Now, tomorrow's the title of tomorrow's press conference is what them there again? The post-Melissa housing crisis. The post-Melissa housing crisis. And again, there's a video on my page which I just posted. I urge you all to go over there, share it, leave a comment, share it with everybody, put it on a WhatsApp group, send it as far as you can. Because those questions must be asked. I urge you all, the last video I just uploaded, go over there, share it as much as you can, leave a comment under it, press the like button, send it to everybody that you can. Because these questions must be asked at the press conference tomorrow. And I hope that some journalists will turn up tomorrow who have the balls. I want that lady, we're never afraid to ask the minister about Junko flying around in the sky. Where is the reporter? Where is the reporter that went to a press conference and asked the Minister of Health if he was fucking somebody other than his wife? Where is that reporter? Yes. Where is that reporter that went to a press conference and was bright enough to ask a member of cabinet if he was having sexual relations with another woman? These are the things that they are willing to ask the Labour Party government whenever they turn up at a press conference. With the Labour Party, they are willing to throw these questions out there. Who you are for? We don't say a junker in the sky. But when you go to a PMP press conference, you ask Mark Golden, what is your favorite color? What meals do you like to eat? These are the questions that they put to Mark Golden at PMP press conference. Mr. Golden, what is your favorite color? What foods do you like to eat? What is your favorite day of the week? We need to put back some life into journalism in this country. I hope they show up too. And I hope they show up whether to pepper them with questions about Jack then, about the money that they are collecting in the name of the Melissa recovery. That is my hope for tomorrow, that journalists turn up. Not just from nationwide that is willing to ask questions, but from every single media house in Jamaica should turn up and ask questions. You can't just be bad for Labour Party, but when PMP, when you don't have a chance to ask PMP questions, you run away. Again, Mr. Garnet Freighter, you are welcome to join me and have a discussion. But I will ask you the question, why you don't want nationwide to ask any question? Why wouldn't you want nationwide to ask a question? I would. Because they are the only one that's going to ask the question that matters. Hypocrite them. Why? Because they're going to ask questions that matters. Because they're now going to ask Mark what is his favorite color. They're not going to ask him what is his favorite day of the week. Let me see if we can send you an invitation, Mr. Garnet, because, I see. Mr. Garnet, tell Mr. Freighter, what has Nationwide done for you to label them as bias? The story that we have a run with now about Delroy Williams and the league vice note. And Nationwide break that story. Nationwide break the story about Rosie vice note them. And Nationwide break the story about Jack Ben. Tell me why they are biased. Up until this time, Gleaner has not given not one single credible reporting about what is happening. Same so user, as I said before, a reporter went to a press conference and asked the Minister of Health if he was sleeping with another woman. A reporter went to a press conference and asked the minister if them could get some drunk to fly around in the sky. But when you go to a PMP press conference, all you want to know is Mark Golding's favorite color. What's his favorite day of the week? What kind of food does he like to eat? When them have corruption after corruption over them head. And instead of put that one little corner and make pum pum sign with him hand. He's allowed to stand in a corner making pum pum sign with him hand. Empires of the nation, you're alive, man. I wonder, you're alive. We need journalists to turn up at tomorrow's press conference and ask questions. The PMP need to account for the money that them collect. Sir Radcliffe, good morning, sir. Good night. The money that they collect in the name of Melissa victim, they need to account for it. The money that they collect in the name of Melissa victim, well, the Jamaican people don't waste so much. Yes. We don't waste so much. Remember, you know, the topic at this press conference is the post-Melissa housing crisis. Has the PMP used that money to build one house, give anybody that was affected by Melissa? Has they contributed to the roofs program by the government? And now what I want to happen next is that the government now needs to call a press conference and speak on the number of Labour Party supporters that are being victimized by their PMP MPs in these constituencies. We need to call a press conference now and speak on it. Several Labour Party from PMP held constituencies are being victimized because they are Labour right. And this is what we need to speak on. But again, I am hoping that somebody at this press conference will ask Mark Golding the question, Mr. Golding, are you under investigation by the Integrity Commission? If so, why are you being investigated? I hope somebody can pose that question tomorrow. Your statutory declarations have not been certified. Are you under investigation? Why are you being investigated? Is there a company that is linked to Mark Golding that is taking a percentage of the money that is collected? Is These are your standards that you set, Mark Jefferson. My apologies, people. Put some taps on the screen for me. These are the standards that you set, Mr. Golding. And I'm hoping that some reporter will turn up at the press conference tomorrow who are not afraid to ask questions. What if me too old for go enlist, for go enroll a carry Mac, you know? When you think me too old, me can't go carry Mac, see, I go turn one journalist. Yeah, man, me can't go spend 6 months in a carry Mac and turn a journalist, man. All right, yeah, Maga man say me too old, me can't do it again. All right, Zanja say I can. Zanja, me follow you, me not follow Maga man. I am going to enlist up by carry Mac and take up journalism in my old days. Because somebody needs to breathe back some life in the Cliff Hughes alone can carry the load, it's too heavy. Oh, sorry, that's what I mean. All right, Maga man, I follow you. That is what I am. I am going to enroll. Yes, I'm going to take up journalism. We have to put back some life in the profession in Jamaica. It is dying. We can no longer live with just reporters alone. We can't live with just reporters alone. Journalism is dying. But as long as there is social media, we're going to always keep the fight alive over here. We're going to keep the fight alive over here. So, we now let up Mark Golden and the PNP for the hook. I mentioned it earlier this evening, and I'm going to try to go over it again because I want some people understand. Based on recent election trends, I'm talking 2007, 2011, 2016, 2020, and 2025. So 7, 11, 16, 20, 25. 5 elections. 5 elections in the last, about 20 years, yes. Yeah, 5 elections in the last 20 years. Mark Golden. Then let me ask you this, Mr. Garnett. Mr. Garnett Freighter. Let me free up the comment so people can see it. Mr. Garnett Freighter, if Infomedia says we are irrelevant, why are you here and not listening to Infomedia? Then go to Infomedia. You should be listening to Infomedia. If you think I am irrelevant, why are you here? A simple question, you know. If you think I am irrelevant, why are you here? You're here because this is the only place you learn something, whether or not you admit it or not. That's why you're here now. That's why you were here earlier. And if I turn on the light tomorrow, you will be here again because this is the only place you learn something, whether or not you choose to admit it. This is the only place you learn something. That is why you're here. And to answer my own question, oh, you think they are no, but this are no Marvin platforms. This are no Marvin. But I'm glad you remind me of Marvin. I'm glad you remind me. Marvin is a young man that break onto this platform, beating the drum about corruption, and he's against corruption and he don't like corruption. But yet still, when Dennis Garden, who is embroiled in one of the largest corruption we've seen, needed a safe space to run to. Now Marvin, he run, go man. Then that sound like Marvin house is built on sand and not the solid rock. If you're against corruption, Why would you give a safeless space to a man that is embroiled in a corruption and you're not brave enough to ask him any question to unearth anything about the corruption that he was involved in? You see, Freighter, I them kind of something they don't love, no hug up corruption. And yes, and that's why I'm Marvin your thing there. Because Marvin hug up the corruption, you don't know. But guess what? You don't learn nothing from Marvin. That's why you're there, yes, so. Yes, I dare your thing there, you know. I don't hug up the corruption over there, but you don't learn nothing from him. The last time you hear about Marvin, one woman I look for him for one check with him teeth from her. What if he pay back the woman yet? And because him is a criminal, that is why Dennis Gardner find comfort in him company. Because birds of a feather will always flock together. Mr. Freighter. So go on over there and flock with them. You know the same thing. Not the same thing. No, you find comfort in him company. You know the same thing. My floor is open. You say, my floor is open, you know. I tell you, say, anytime you want, just press the button and come. Why you not come? Why you not come? Come ask me a question. Come ask me a question. You can't complain, say, you're over there because the floor was open. When fan earlier this evening, I've been inviting you, say, come. If you have a problem, come at me and discuss it. You know, sister, you know, argument no make sense. You say you're over there because the floor was open to ask question. What kind of question did you ask Dennis Gardner that day? I bet you asked him what his favorite colors were. What his favorite day of the week. What kind of food does he like to eat? And them questions they don't ask Dennis Gardner too. We don't ever ask him why he willfully try to rob the taxpayers of Jamaica. I never ask him why has he been robbing the taxpayers of Jamaica for 20 years? Why never ask him why when customs sent him to the Ministry of Health to get a permit, why did he not go to the ministry or go to University Hospital instead? They don't ask him that question? No, they're not going to ask him. That question is too hard. And he might have to answer. Marvin can be your thing, but me sure I yes so alone and you can learn something. Well, let me dive. I was giving an article history now. 5 elections over the last 20 years. And I'm saying this because Mark Golding keep referring to 400,000 people vote for me. I win 14 seats for the PMP. If you say so, sir. But it says more about you that you think the man did not wrong than him himself. It shows that now how bad the fuckery is when we always support it. But let me go again and give you the little history now. 5 elections. Go over Marvin. And time for 5 elections. And I can prove to you that Mark Golding is the worst PMP leader coming out of all those elections. Mark Golding. Mark Golding has contributed nothing to the PMP in 2025. If we should analyze election over the last 5 elections, like we know politics, like we understand politics, Mark Golding is the worst leader to ever lead the PMP in an election. He has contributed nothing to them in 2025. All of you come talk about, he win 14 seats, lie. The PMP as a party regained 14 of their seats. And I said 14 off because I never 14 we take from them in 2020. Mark Golding is the PMP leader over the last 5 elections that suffers the largest defeat. And remember, I tell me, I go say, but Peter Philip lose 49-14. Yes, we made COVID was an anomaly. We'll never stand in the election. Mark Golding has not won a single Labour Party. Mark Golding not turn a seat for the PMP. Andrew Michael Holness turn seats. We have Central Kingston that turn. Central Manchester turn. Northern Trelawney turn. That's how you know when a leader is effective. When you can go in an opponent constituency and turn the side. Andrew Holness turn East Portland. Eastern St. Mary. Yes, then take them back. No, but Andrew, turn them there. Turn the tide span them there. Tell me one Labour Party seat where this man turned. Yes. Thank you, chaps. We turned several of the other seats into marginal constituency. So tell me, somebody who thinks that they understand politics more than me, tell me what did Mark Golding contribute to the PMP in 2025? Nothing. Nothing. Mark Golding brought nothing to the table in 2025. He would have gotten the worst beating of any PMP leader since 1980. We have to go back 1980 when Edward Siaga landslide Michael Manley. This election beating right here is the largest the PMP get since that one. Thank you, chap. Holy for them. But we have fighting chance, you know. You have to go back to 1980 election to find the last time a PMP leader get a bigger beating than this one Mark Golding get. Yes, he's down by 7 seats. Bruce Golding was by what? 2 or 3 seats. Andrew Holness in 2016 was by 1 seat. That was the 2 seat. Mark Golding is down by 7. The largest beating of any PMP leader since the general election of 1980. 1 seat. Thank you, chaps. Any comrade that claims to know election, tell me say lie me I tell. Well, we can't take out 2020 out of it. 2020 was an anomaly. We're not going to see that again. We can't take out 2011 out of it. 2011 was Hurricane Portia coming into power. Blew away Andrew Holness. Hurricane Portia in a 2011 blew away Andrew Holness. 42 to 21 seat. Andrew fight back and carve out victory by a single. 2020 we had COVID. We had Hurricane Andrew and COVID put together. We now count that. Mark Golding in 2025 get the worst beating of any PMP since 1980. So when you know I run a celebrate him, or him a bring back PMP, him have X amount of people. Remember now, not even the amount of voter was he able to capture. Don't follow the loose argument. We know politics traps and we can reason politics and we understand politics. And we know to analyze politics. I think you think we're just social media politicians. And now you're so alone, we know what politics, we know what politics all over. And now social media alone, we know what politics, we know it all over. Any comrade, me did say, comrade, Blair here earlier. I don't know if he's still now, late now, comrade Blair probably gone in bed, in late, you know. He might get to that age, you know, he can't stay up so late. The grandparents, them are going to run in bed there now. But none of them can challenge me on that fact and win. Mark Golding has proven to be a liability to the PMP. A liability to the PMP. His only asset is that he's best friends with the man that runs the largest media group in the Caribbean. So therefore, they no report that him a pull down the party. No, they're not going to report that. But people like me, when know the politics over the years, can make this assessment and tell you that factually it is so. Mark Gino contributing onto the PMP. He has not turned one Labour Party seat into PMP now. He has not even turned one of them marginal where he have a chance the next time. Andrew has turned seat, Andrew has made seat marginal. That's how you count when a leader of a political party is effective. Donald Trump was the golden endorser, the endorser in chief. Once him endorse, you must win. See Victor Orban from Hungary, when him send a man go campaign for lose. So the China come off of that the ball too. Mark Golding can't lead a candidate to victory. Him no have it. But still again, I have to remind journalists that questions need to be asked. And guys, again, new video on the page. Just go to the page right now. Find that video, share it, comment, everything. Make sure it reaches all over by tomorrow morning. Share it with everybody when you can think of. Make it reach everybody by tomorrow morning. That at least one journalist. There are some of them where they play every day, I play a game, you know, I think somebody at TVJ now, they're not on the video. So they have to come to TikTok. They have to come to TikTok, they're not on the video at TVJ. But the question must be asked, Mark Golding. Since you have entitled this press conference, let me bring out the poster so we can talk. Since you have entitled this press conference, Post-Melissa Housing Crisis. The question I would like to ask, well-thinking person, and comrades that are here, do we have a post-Melissa housing crisis? Anybody can answer me that question. Do we have a post-Melissa housing crisis in Jamaica? Well, Mr. Freighter, answer me that question, please. Do we have a post-Melissa housing crisis in Jamaica? I don't know of it. I do not know of it. I know we have some people living in Westmoreland. This bigger than crisis. All right, Chap City. Chap City, would you like to come and discuss it with me, sir? Make we discuss the post-Melissa housing. Come, Chap City. Yes, Chap City. Yes, Chap City. Send me the request, Chap City, and come. Chap City says bigger than crisis. Now, here's a chance for me to learn something from Chap City. That's only if he wants to join him. Say yes, it's bigger than crisis. What I know, Chap City, is that there are persons in Westmoreland that need assistance to rebuild their house, but the government can't assist them yet because guess what? They don't have anywhere to build it. Cap City. They need assistance to rebuild, but the government can't assist them yet because they don't own the land to build land. Now, Cap City, you say it's bigger than crisis. Tell me about the post-Melissa housing crisis that we have in Jamaica.
You know, one question more. Well, good night, bossy, first thing. And your people them will watch your life. However, one more I ask you, my father. How the people them can get the money when them go to the Western Union for collect? Hundreds of people
discussion. That's our next discussion. No, Chap City.
Then that's why we have a crisis. That's why you have this discussion right now. You know?
Chap City. Come on, listen to me, man.
That's the problem, Chuck. Me I tell you.
Chap City, listen to me. You see that something there behind me? It says we are fueled by facts.
But you don't think that's a cause?
Opinion.
No, Chucky, people them not get the food.
Chap City, me I talk about house and you come ask me about food.
No, me I tell people them not get food, me I talk the money.
Chap City, how much money has the government given out since Melissa?
Them say them allocate $10 billion, but it seems like the money is available for picked up.
Given out since Melissa.
It seems like the money is unavailable for picked up, Chuck. The money is not available for picked up.
All right, here what you do. You see, Chap City, they ask you a question, and I know you can't pose an answer to me. So have a good night.
No.
When you come here to have a good discussion. I am not here to discuss your feelings, your opinion.
No, not feelings, I'm telling you facts.
Do we have a housing crisis since Melissa? That is the question I'm asking you to answer.
We've been have a housing crisis in Jamaica, but it worse.
All right. Explain to me the post-Melissa housing crisis now that the PMP is going to have a press conference on tomorrow.
Because me just tell you, Chuck, and you think a game me and make, you know, see the people them now get the help how them forget it, fam. Be realistic,
which help,
man.
No? Let me answer this.
You try to be politically blind, or you play like you know, see what I go and Chuck. No disrespect here.
Chaps, let me ask you this, sir.
Are
people going to hardwares to get goods to build their houses?
Not from my knowledge at this moment.
So you don't know of nobody who get assistance and go to hardware and collect?
No, because yesterday me hear elder same day in a new
Chaps,
town.
have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good night.
You know, I hear the truth.
So have a good night. Have a good night. You see, people, we have to start the discussions from a place of honesty. And you can't say the only thing you know of is that people have in trouble at Western Union, but you don't know the people that we actually get through. It means that you are not discussing from a place of knowledge. Chap City, if you're going to have a discussion, so we have to start the discussion from a place of honesty. So here what you do. Go and get the information that you need, and then you come back. Come have a discussion with me. But you have to have a discussion about topics that you are familiar with. And right now, you are not familiar with the topic that you want to discuss. Where is the housing crisis that we might have? The people that are in Westmoreland, that has been living for generations on a piece of land that was given to their grandmother, their grandfather by Michael Manley, but they were never given any titles for it. So now that we have an issue that they need some assistance to rebuild, government cannot assist them because they don't own the land. A few weeks ago, the Prime Minister made an announcement that they will be conducting an audit of the lands down there so it can be handed over to the people where live there. Simple put. Now, Whenever we had water crisis in this country, the PMP go around and then deliver black tank to people, and then you have to call them every time it's empty. That is a temporary solution. Yes, Betsy. Melissa show up the problem. Melissa never create it, you know. Melissa show it up. Melissa expose it. And Andrew will now have to fix it. Any discussion we're going to have, any honest discussion, and that is why we don't discuss people's feelings or their opinion. Because while everybody is entitled to their opinion, you're not entitled to your own facts. While you're entitled to an opinion, you're not entitled to your own facts. So if you come to have a discussion and you are going to say, you don't know of nobody, we get no assistance. All you know about are the people and what they are Western Union. We are trying to milk the system to turn the material vouchers into cash. You ever ask yourself why you one Western Union alone everybody I go to? If the government allow you to collect this money, if the government agree money and say you can get it at Western Union, do you think they will only make one Western Union available? Or they would make it at all Western Union across the island? Sometimes we don't have to think beyond what is in front of the eye. And that is what PMP supporters lack the ability to do. Think beyond what is in front of your eye. If the government is giving out cash, would they make one single Western Union the point of contact for that? No, they would not. They would not. But yeah, me know Rixa is like trying to get water to run uphill. It is like trying to get water to run uphill, sir. You need a pump. You need a pump. But again, the questions that need to be asked at the press conference tomorrow. How many houses has the PMP rebuilt from the Melissa money that they have been collecting? How many? How much money have they collected through their portal since they launched it? Is there a company linked to Mark Golding that is getting a percentage of that money? If so, what is the percentage they're getting? Who is responsible for the distribution of these funds? What account is it being held in? Is Mark Golding under investigation for illicit enrichment or any other charge by the IC? Is he going to tell the people why he is not certified? Is he going to tell the people why he is not certified by the Integrity Commission? My granny said, when you dig hole, you must dig two. Not gold, and dig one for the Prime Minister. See my job in it, you know. See my job in there now. And if me there in the arm's reach, I'll push him. Well, Marga man, that is the way you have to think, you know. Why is it only one Western Union is the point of contact for the so-called money? But RCN, I am hoping that some journalists will turn up at the press conference tomorrow and ask these questions. These are the questions that needs to be put to the PMP. You can't come say you have pay housing crisis when you can't tell one to the money where you collect. Come on, guys, put some taps on the screen. Put some taps on the screen. I go until midnight. Put some taps on the screen for me, please. If you're not following me, please to press the follow button. Welcome to join the family. We have wonderful political discussions over here. And over here, we are fueled by facts and not opinion. Facts and not opinion. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. They're not entitled to their own facts. And that is why comrades are unable to have a discussion with me, because I'm going to tell them, I don't want your feelings, I don't want your opinion. We discuss the facts only, and that is, if I'm not invite Freighter, can't come. Because they are unable to put any substantial argument together to defend any point. One of them to come debate Mr. Dennis Garden is a criminal. So Mark Gordon is the leader of a criminal organization. Thank you for the follow, Beverly. Test the follow button. If you're there on the far you page, just come in at the party. You can press the follow button and then you go back on the far you page. I hold the pound on the far you page out there watching. Hold it. Hold it pound on the far you page I watch. Just come in, press the follow button, and you can go back out on the far you page. Because I'm sure no probably want nobody soon now watch Chuck. Many of them, RNC, are encouraging their people not to rebuild their houses. Because if they rebuild, then they're not going to get nothing from the government.